gas is dead, they said. EVs are the only future worth buying, they insisted. Then, Dodge dropped the 2026 Charger Sixpack pricing sheet, and boom! Suddenly, the internet's loudest EV evangelists are nervously checking their calculators. Because when the smoke clears, the new twin-turbo Hurricane straight-six Charger undercuts its own electric sibling by a jaw-dropping 10 grand. But here's where it gets controversial. Some fans are already calling this the muscle car equivalent of lighting a cigar in a yoga studio. Ready to pick a side? Let's break down exactly what Dodge just revealed, why the price gap is so dramatic, and why your neighbor who pre-ordered the EV might already be sweating. The headline number? $51,990. That's the entry fee for a rear-drive switchable, all-wheel drive, 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet, twin-turbo straight-six 2026 Charger Sixpack RT. Destination charge included. Compare that to the Charger Daytona Scat Pack EV, which starts at $61,990. $10,000 is not couch cushion money. It's the difference between I'll finance it and I'll pay cash and still afford a track day budget. But the plot thickens. Dodge is offering two distinct flavors of internal combustion brawn. One, standard output, SORT, 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet, forged crank but slightly tamer internals and boost. Think of it as the daily driver that still knows how to misbehave at a stoplight. 2. High-Output Scat Pack, 550 horsepower, 531 pound-feet, forged everything, bigger turbos, and a factory warranty that somehow tolerates 3.9-second 0 to 60 blasts. Quarter mile? Dodge is already teasing 12.2 seconds, which is knocking on the door of last year's Hellcat without the supercharger whine. Both engines feed an updated 8-speed TorqueFlite automatic that Dodge swears shifts quicker than a caffeinated gamer on a macro keyboard. And yes, you can yank a switch and send 100% of the torque to the rear axle whenever you feel like reenacting your favorite chase scene from Bullet. Body style math. 2-door coupe, base price is listed. 4-door sedan, add $2,000. That's $200 per extra door. Cheap by modern automotive standards. Trim walk in plain English. 2026 Charger Sixpack RT, SO, $51,990 coupe. $53,990 sedan. 2026 Charger Sixpack Scat Pack, HO, $56,990 coupe. $58,990 sedan. 2026 Charger Daytona Scat Pack, EV, $61,990 coupe. $63,990 sedan. Notice the EV sits a full $5,000 Scat Pack. And this is the part most people miss. The EV's instant torque is addictive, but the six-pack gives you forged pistons, launch control, line lock, and an active exhaust that can wake the dead, or at least the HOA president. Standard goodies across the board read like a Christmas list for speed junkies. Rear limited slip differential, no more one-wheel peel. Line lock software for the occasional parking lot burnout that definitely never happens. Launch control so repeatable your grandma could nail sub 4-second 0 to 60s. Active exhaust with 4 distinct volume levels, from library whisper to small thunderstorm. Dodge performance pages, think of it as a PlayStation dashboard for quarter-mile times, G-force, and engine temp Scat Pack extras. 6-piston Brembo calipers up front, because stopping is also important. 20 by 10-inch diamond-cut wheels that look like they were carved by a jeweler with a speed addiction. Optional 20 by 11-inch rear wheels wrapped in 305-section rubber, wide enough to double as a sidewalk. Visual telltales versus the EV. The six-pack ditches the EV's aerodynamic R-wing front pass-through and replaces it with an honest-to-goodness grille, functional, aggressive, and guaranteed. Under the skin, you'll find a forged multi-link front suspension and an independent 4-link rear that Dodge claims delivers 25% better steady-state cornering balance. Translation: less understeer, more grin-inducing neutrality when you flick it into a bend. Ordering timeline. Mark your calendar. August 11th, 2024. Order books open for the 2-door Scat Pack HO. Be ready at midnight if you want a 2025 delivery slot. Second half of 2025. First coupes land in driveways. First half of 2026. RT and 4-door models finally arrive. Yes, that's a full year later, so patience, or a second daily beater, is required. Now for the elephant, or should we say, the supercharged elephant in the room. CEO Matt Nackalier hinted that the platform was engineered from day one to swallow a Hellcat V8 if regulations and consumer demand align. His exact words, "Don't be surprised if it would fit." Cue internet forums exploding with renderings of a 797 HP Charger Sixpack Hellcat Red-Eye widebody. Controversial? Absolutely. Some purists argue stuffing a V8 into an eco-minded platform is like putting a coal plant in a Tesla showroom. Others say it's the best of both worlds, modern chassis tech with old-school displacement. Where do you stand? So let's recap the value equation. Cheapest 6-pack RT, $51,990, 420 horsepower, gas station refill in 5 minutes. Cheapest EV Daytona, $61,990, instant torque, but you'll need a 350 kilowatt charger and 20 minutes of your life. 10 grand buys a lot of tires, track days, or even a decent used Miata as a winter beater. And that's before we talk about the emotional soundtrack of twin-turbo spooling versus the EV's spaceship whir. Controversial take. Dodge might be quietly betting that government incentives for EVs will shrink by 2026, making the gas car even more attractive on a total cost of ownership basis. If subsidies vanish and electricity prices spike, today's gas is obsolete. Narrative could flip faster than a Hellcat on drag radials. Your turn. Is Dodge brilliant for hedging its bets? Or are they clinging to a dying past? Would you pocket the 10K savings and go 6-pack? Or pay extra for the EV's instant torque and zero tailpipe emissions? Drop your hottest take below. Bonus points if you bring receipts or dyno sheets.